The Baobab Promise. In the heart of Ghana's Ashanti region, where the ancient baobab trees stretch their arms toward the heavens, lived Akosua, a gifted Kent weaver. Her fingers worked magic on the loom, creating patterns that whispered ancestral stories. Each dawn, she sat beneath the village's great baobab tree, her thread dancing in rhythm with the breeze. Kwame, a traveling musician from Ghana's northern plains, arrived in Akosua's village during a devastating drought. His only possessions were his weathered kora, his voice, and an unquenchable spirit. The very first morning, he followed the echo of Akosua's loom. When he saw her weaving under the baobab's shade, her brow glistening in the golden sun, he knew fate had brought him there. Kwame began playing his kora nearby. Its soulful notes wrapped around Akosua's rhythm like vines on a tree. The villagers gathered to witness this new symphony. Music and weaving, man and woman harmony. Their bond deepened. Kwame told Akosua stories through his songs, tales of northern hunters, lost kingdoms, and his mother's lullabies. Akosua responded with vibrant cloths that captured each tale. They shared roasted plantains under moonlight, laughter at the riverbank, and dreams beneath the stars. But tradition demanded more. To marry Akosua, Kwame had to prove himself through the ritual of the 7 gifts of virtue. Courage. He had to face the lion of Mole Forest. Wisdom. He had to answer the riddle of the 3 elders in Wa. Patience. He had to fish all night in the silent lake Buzumtu and return with just 1 golden catfish. Kindness. He had to help strangers without revealing his purpose. Humility. He had to serve the poorest household for 7 days. Strength. He had to climb Mount Afadjato before sunrise. Love. He had to create a song so powerful, it could make even the hardened chief cry. Akosua believed in him, but an obstacle loomed. Her father, Nana Yaw, the village chief, had already promised her to a wealthy Kumasi trader named Mensa, who brought silk and gold. To Akosua, Mensa's wealth was cold. Kwame's song. 'Twas warmth. One evening, desperate and heartsick, they met beneath the baobab tree. The air was thick with dust and sorrow. Kwame whispered, "If our love is real, let this tree bloom out of season. Let it be our witness." Akosua, tears shining, tied a red thread around the baobab's bark. And then, Kwame vanished into the night. His journey began. The journey of the 7 gifts. Kwame faced lions, not of muscle alone but of spirit. He braved the darkness of Mole, shaking but unyielding, until a lion met his eyes and turned away, a silent acknowledgement. In Wa, the 3 elders sat under the stars. Their riddle was this: what grows when you give it, yet shrinks when you hoard it? Kwame pondered for hours before replying, "Love." The elders smiled. On the edge of Lake Buzumtu, he waited through storms and stillness. At dawn, a golden catfish leapt into his net, a gift from the water spirits. He traveled from village to village, offering music, food, help, and always disappearing before anyone could thank him. At one village, he scrubbed latrines and cooked meals for a crippled man's family. They thought he was mad, but he smiled and stayed. He climbed Afadjato with bleeding feet, racing the sun. He reached the summit just as the first ray kissed the sky. Finally he wrote his song. It was not just music, it was memory. Of the loom's rhythm, of Akosua's laughter, of their nights beside the fire. The wedding day. Back in the village, the baobab tree remained silent. Dry. Ill. Akosua prepared for a wedding she didn't want. Her hands wove one final cloth, rich in blue for longing, gold for hope, and red for love. The patterns told the story of her heart. Just as the drums beat for her walk down the aisle, thunder cracked, rain poured, and then gasps echoed. The baobab tree, dry for decades, bloomed. Brilliant flowers of orange and white covered it like a crown. The red thread Akosua had tied danced in the wind. Kwame appeared, soaked, barefoot, gifts in hand and kora on his back. He walked to the chief, out, and played his song. The melody silenced the crowd. Even the birds seemed to hush. Nana Yaw wept. The chief, moved beyond words, tore the betrothal bracelet off Akoshua's wrist and placed it on Kwame's hand. The ancestors have spoken. Their legacy. Kwame and Akoshua married beneath the baobab. That tree became known as the lover's witness, and people came from miles to make vows beneath its branches. Their love birthed not just children but legends. Every year during the Harmattan, the village celebrates the Baobab Promise festival, where lovers sing and weave together. And when the tree blooms out of season, they say it's because Kwame has written another song, just for Akoshua. Moral: sometimes true love must walk through fire, climb mountains, and silence a storm. But if it is real, the universe will bend to bloom in its favor.